Hello, this is Billy from Insanity Samples, and today we are looking at some customer requests. Born from a chat on the VI Control forum, this video is going to center around in-action use cases for Tutti sketches. Specifically, sketching out a new idea from scratch, making use of Tutti, taking an idea from nothing more than a kernel, sketching out the chords and melody under one roof, before turning our attention to arranging and bringing in more instances of Tutti into the mix to get a specific sound for our piece. While Tutti is designed to play well with friends in the form of other libraries in a supportive role, we will be writing this little piece entirely with Tutti. So first I'm going to pull up an instance of Tutti sketches and switch on chord mode. Now for our specific opening task of getting a progression and melody penciled in, I want to engage the split key mode. This will allow me to access both chords and melody simultaneously in the same patch, concentrating on the basic framework now more than the actual arrangement. I'm going to lock to the key of C minor or E flat major as a key that sits well under my fingers for sketching new ideas, and I'll choose the minimalist chords for this. Now we can go large Tutti voicings, but our goal here is to get our melody and chords working, so a full spectrum Tutti arrangement probably isn't ideal at this time. I could also get straight into the customization of the chords, but again, so long as I do not plan on leaving the key, opting for the pre-built minimalist chords will be the quickest route to getting some writing done, given these are simply triadic chords of the scale chosen. So the engine isn't writing for you per se, but rather filling in the basic blanks of the scale you've chosen to work in, allowing you to concentrate entirely on melodic and chordal journeys in your piece. So in the key of C minor, I'll likely lean on chords like C minor, E flat major, F minor, A flat major, perhaps G minor or B flat major. With these chords all being triggered in the left hand, I'm free to play melody in the right, which of course is useful for composers whose first instrument isn't piano and know what chords they want from the scale, but want to concentrate on melody development in the right hand. Okay, so some ideas formulating here. At this point, we could track down what we have and then start turning our attentions to arranging. Important to note that at this point, I want full flexibility, so I'm not engaging any hairpins or dynamics. I just want the idea fleshed out on this draft before moving into more detail in separate Tutti instances. So we have our basic outline. We can now start to think about how we want to arrange this, what we want to lock into chords and hairpins, and introduce some auxiliary elements like ostinatos or pedal tone pads that run throughout. Something I want to put in there straight away is a high pedal tone of the root to place this piece in a home straight out of the bat. A classic textural component to many a film score that allows a piece to creep in and out of a scene without too much attention being drawn to the ins and outs of the cue. We'll make that as long as the piece roughly for now and move on to getting a clearer idea of the chord arrangement. So currently we have the minimalist pre-made chords going, and these are root position closed triads. What I think I want from this piece is the harmony to live somewhere in the middle of the orchestral texture and to be airy and delicate. So I think I'll go for the split triads chord mode, which will take my tonality C minor and create the correct set of chords for the scale when playing diatonically, arranged to have the root of the chord followed by the fifth and then the third a full octave above that, giving a softened, open chord shape that is full of air and very delicate. Lovely. So we'll play in our actual chords now. Okay, so now to add some energy, movement, and gravitas to the second half of the piece, I want to introduce a bass element to the harmonic progression, but I want it single note, and I only want the notes to have a decrescendo with an immediate start. So I'll open a new instance of Tutti sketches, set my hairpins to closed hairpins only, 2 bars in length should work well. That's rich and powerful. That's going to work well. Let's play it in. Okay, so before I drop that melody back in, I want to add some additional movement and raise the stakes slightly for the piece. I'm going to do this by adding a staccato and pitched percussive ostinato, separate but working together to create an eighth note fill to the underlying rhythm. These will basically follow the chords, with the staccato doubling roots and thirds, with the piano and marimba working a couple of octaves higher at inverted ostinato patterns of thirds and roots. Great, so let's now open a fresh Tutti Sketches, leaving all hairpins alone for now. We want to control the dynamics here with our slider. As this is our melody, we want more control over what pokes out of the mix and how the decrescendos function. Okay, I think we are about there. We took our split key bare bones sketch that allowed for both chords and melody to happen at the same time in two hands, then split all of that up into bass, chords, melody, and auxiliary elements such as staccato and percussive ostinatos and a high root note pedal tone, with some orchestral balancing too, in order to bring more brass into the bass and more strings into the melody, for example. Before we go, let's imagine that we are back at the stage of choosing our chords. And whilst I want most of the chords from C minor, when I arrive at G minor, I would rather hear a G dominant 7. That will pull me more convincingly back to the root note of C, creating the tonality of C harmonic minor. We can choose our minimalist chords, then switch into custom, then play the note G or click it from the large keyboard, then change our B flat to a B natural to make it major. Then perhaps add even greater gravity to C by changing the top G to an F, which is in this case our dominant 7th of the G chord. We can hear that really pulls you a lot harder to the root note of C and adds greater gravitas. We can of course continue this logic to build any number of custom chords to be used in our piece, including very non-functional clustered chords or various chromatic mediants and tritone substitutions. The world is your oyster once you get into the creative workflow of how the engine works. I hope this has been insightful for you as we explored just one of the ways in which you can hit the ground running when writing from sketch to finished piece using Tutti Sketches. For more information, head to insanitysamples.com. Thanks for watching.